This past weekend when I was working my required day at the antique store, I saw a man come in with an old radio flyer red wagon, and it was full of bags. So of course I'm thinking to myself, what in the world is this? And it was Mike and Laura Ruffing. They're from Cherry Log, Georgia, which is not far from LJ, where our store is located. And they are YouTube viewers who brought me a gift haul. So in today's video, I'm going to show you all of the vintage goodies that I got from Laura and Mike. Okay, let's get started. I guess they heard me talk about coffee on my channel because they brought me a bag of their favorite coffee, and it says in celebration of Julie's love of vintage. So there's this lovely gift. Coffee never goes to waste at our house. Okay, let's move on to the vintage stuff. They gave me several of these plates with the recipe. These are Royal China Jeannette Corporation pie plates. I've sold several of these over the years in my antique booth, and they tend to fly off the shelves. People just love these. I think they like how the recipe is all in one spot, and so they don't have to look on their phone on a very annoying recipe site with all those ads popping up and all this crazy stuff. It's literally right here. So I got the cheesecake one. I'd never seen the pizza one, so you can make a deep dish pizza in this one. The pecan pie. Pecan pie is very popular in the South, so I've sold several of these. 2 of the cherry pie. This one is also marked Royal China. Also have never seen this one. The lemon meringue. This one has an embossed stamp on the back that says USA. And then I saved the best one for last. Mike said that I really need to make sure I look up the blueberry pie one carefully. This one on the back says Country Harvest, 1983, Royal China. He said that the blueberry pie one was rare because usually the blueberries stain the dish really badly, and my dog just opened the door herself. And this one is perfect with no blueberry staining. So this one is, I need to look this one up. Okay, look at this beautiful, delicate glass bowl. This is thin crystal, and it says Arabia, Finland on the sticker right here on the front. I'm not sure that you're going to be able to see this in the camera, but it has all these whimsical designs all the way around it, and I just adore it. So I'll just show you the different sides. So there's this beautiful bowl by Thin Crystal. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that I love cookbooks. Look at this. Oh my gosh, I am obsessed with the cover on this cookbook. This is copyrighted 1963, and it is just, oh my gosh, look at the photos. Oh, I just love the vintage look of these photos. And so this is a really special cookbook. I might end up keeping this for myself. One of the things that Laura and I talked about when she was in the store is she told me what these bookmarks meant. She said that she meant to make the things that were bookmarked, but that she spent all this time picking out the things she wanted to make and then never actually made them. And I do the exact same thing. But one thing that I do still really love to make is cookies, especially for Christmas. So I might keep this one. I have this problem with wanting to keep everything cool that that I get. This one is 1972. Did you know what Betty Crocker even looks like? Well, here you go. This is what Betty Crocker looks like. You're welcome. So that's her. Here's the Better Homes and Gardens one. I'm sure you're going to recognize this one. This one is a very hot seller for me. I have bought and sold several of these over the years. This one is in nice shape. Some of these, the pages are just so, greasy from Well, Crisco, that kind of greasy stuff that they used to use back in the 60s. Before we learned that trans fats were not so good for you. A couple more Betty Crocker ones. I think this one is going to fly off the shelves this spring because this is perfect for summer. Okay, and then a whole bag full of children's books. Several of these small gift books. I'm actually wanting to take a closer look at this one because it explains what the different flowers mean, what they stand for. This is going to be a good one for Mother's Day to have out. And then, of course, one of my favorite topics, one on dogs. Okay, this is Indiana glass diamond pattern. It was probably a mayonnaise dish, but Laura gave me a good idea that I just hadn't thought about. She told me that the crystal candy dish that I showed in a recent video where I was just talking about how you could keep it on your bathroom counter or your dresser and just store cotton balls or something in it. She said that you could make a fairy light out of something like that. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't have a hole in the top. And she said, just use the electric candles. And so I had never thought of that. And what a cute idea. She even included a couple of the little electric ones for me. So you could place this in the bottom. I'm always a little bit sad when I'm at a thrift store and I see nice stuff like fancy teacups or nice crystal with candle wax all over the inside of it. So what a great and clean idea just to make little fairy lights all over your house when the lights are low. Wouldn't these be pretty in different colors of glass too? So one of the things that I think is a really good idea is to give your customers ideas of different things that they can use these older dishes for. Because I mean, who's really going to get their mayonnaise out and put it in this and then put it out to serve? I mean, if you're really having a fancy dinner, I suppose you would do that, or if you make your own mayonnaise. But most of us, if we're having a cookout, we just put the jar of mayonnaise on the counter and we stick a knife in it and people can put it on their burger. So I just think giving people more modern and new ways of enjoying these lovely vintage pieces is a great idea. I'm probably going to get some more of these and put them in the booth this way. Here's another small dish with the diamond pattern on it. This is something I never see when I'm out and about, are these beautiful paperweights, and Laura and Mike gave me 5 of these. I often see Crazy Lamp Lady showing these for sale on her knickknack store. I often see Rami from Rami's Retro talking about these. So there's this one. These are highly desirable, the way that these are made. The design on the inside. If you know more about these than I do, like I said, I never find these, so I haven't really looked these up. I just know that they are desirable. Please let me know. Of course, I don't claim to be an expert on anything. I just do my best. If you know anything about these, please feel free to chime in the comments. Look at this one with the heart. And whoever made this also put a stamp in the center of the heart when the glass was still hot before it cooled. So I think this one's really cool. Yesterday, a family came in and they were looking for insulators. So I showed them, I have a couple of turquoise ones in my booth, and the daughter said they are common and overpriced, is what she said about mine. And I said, well, I would be happy to entertain an offer. Again, I didn't even realize they were overpriced. I just knew what I had paid for them at an estate sale, and they weren't like dirt cheap or anything. And then after Laura and Mike left, we started going through my gift haul boxes a little bit, and I found that I realized that they had given me some insulators. So they gave me, and I didn't know this when the family was there. They had left, but they clearly knew their antiques and vintage because they asked to see a tiny little figurine in a case, and the tag said occupied Japan, and the man had one of those little magnifying glass eyepiece things. and he said, it's mislabeled. It's not Occupied Japan. And again, I don't think that the antique dealer was trying to mislead anyone in any way. It did say Japan on the bottom. A lot of times, if we're sitting here pricing 50 items, and Google Lens tells us that something is, Occupied Japan, but it's not really Occupied Japan. I mean, just like, it's almost impossible to consistently and 100% of the time get everything right. I would have been happy to show the family the ones that Laura and Mike gave me, but they had already left at that point, and I didn't realize at that point that I had gotten some new insulators from Laura and Mike. And I really love this dark green one. And this is just a guess because, like I said, I don't know a ton about insulators, but I do think that this dark green one may be more rare than the turquoise ones. I think the turquoise ones are pretty, but apparently they are more common. And this dark green one, I don't know. It's just my gut telling me that maybe this color is more rare because I've never seen it before. So feel free to let me know. I am sitting here unboxing this amazing gift haul, and I have not done all of my research yet. All right, Laura and Mike also knew that I like to sell Beanie Babies, and you can laugh about Beanie Babies if you want to, but they are vintage. The 1990s are vintage, and so is the early 2000s. And I buy these all the time at Goodwill for $1.17. That includes the tax, and they sell consistently for $10. I love this mallard duck. I think it is just lovely. And I was getting really low on Beanie Babies after the Value Village that I used to go to closed. And the reason it's nice to buy them at Value Village is because they would have them in baggies up on the wall and you could see them. At Goodwill, they just have these huge massive shelves full of stuffed animals, and you have to dig through all of them to see if there's any Beanie Babies on the bottom. So with all that said, I had not been able to find any Beanie Babies in a while, and I was so happy to get a few new ones. I've already put most of them in the booth yesterday. So there's these. Some memorabilia from Back to the Future. Here's Marty McFly and Doc. And this little picture of them with the clock. And then a tin sign, which is a joke about the DeLorean, the time machine. So there's that. And then they gave me a whole box of Patriotic red, white, and blue gift stuff. That is, all of this red, white, and blue stuff is going to be very popular this spring and summer because our country is celebrating our 250th anniversary as a country. I always like to tell this story because I was born in June of 1976. And so July 4th of 1976 was the 200th year of our anniversary as a country. So all of us who are born in 1976 are called Bicentennial babies. Well, it was just such a big deal. So my mom made me a very special onesie. I don't know how she managed to do this with a baby who was only about 8 days old, but she got her sewing machine out and just took a white onesie and she made me a little stars and stripes onesie out of felt, and then she took a picture of me. So I was literally like 8 days old on the 4th of July, 1976. So now basically you can figure out that I am going to be 50 years old this summer. Oh, I didn't notice this. Oh, this is really pretty. I didn't see this. So this is signed and I can't quite make it out. It looks like, I don't know what it is. It looks like it's signed by hand right here. So see if you can see that. Isn't this just so pretty? Oh, it says 1982. Okay, I'm not sure what company this is from. This is lovely. A Liberty Bell. A bald eagle figurine. This is Lefton. Oh, this is pretty. Let me show you the Lefton sticker on the bottom. Okay. An army tank, a cannon. So there's that little guy. All right, so I'm gonna come up with some type of a 4th of July display, but it needs to happen well in advance of the 4th of July. So, well, Laura and Mike, thank you so much for this amazing vintage gift haul. And if you enjoy this type of content, please make sure that you give the video a like, leave me a comment, and subscribe to the channel. Your comments mean a lot to me, and I read every single one. Well, as always, thank you so much for watching today, and I look forward to seeing you again in the next video.